Cheeto. Cheeto peppers. Cheeto peppers.
Hey there, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Joni, and today I hope you will stick around for a recipe for a skillet polenta pizza. It's inspired by the rich agricultural heritage that we've got here in Arizona. And yes, it might be a desert, but we've got some amazing things growing here. I am especially excited about today's video because you can actually purchase online the specialty products that are featured in today's recipe. There's some unique Arizona ingredients and they obviously might be hard to get wherever you're at. So my friends over at Bite have put together the kitchen kit, which you can go online. I've got the link down below or over at jonisimon.com. You can grab a box of your own and make this skillet polenta pizza at home. So the crust for our pizza is made out of polenta, which is the ultimate Italian comfort food. And I'm specifically using Hayden Flour Mills polenta. It is absolutely beautiful. And to tell you a little bit more about it, I've got Emma Zimmerman from Hayden Flour Mills, the woman behind the scenes.
We always say that our polenta is like Italian comfort food. Like it's like mashed potatoes, kind of in that like creaminess and warm, comforting taste, but then it's corn flavor. So with our polenta, it's stone milled. So one of the things we have to do is actually at the end clean it because there is a part of the corn called pericarp and it's like the outside layer of the corn. So when you mill it, that's actually kind of like turned into little flakes. So we have to clean that off. So we blow it. We used to do it all by hand actually, where you'd like swirl the polenta and pull off the pericarp. And that's the stuff that gets like stuck in your teeth when you're eating popcorn, you know, kind of the outer layer. So you'd want to clean that off. So we spent all this time cleaning it, but because it's an artisan method, we're not going to clean it perfectly. So I was always really bothered by that, like, oh, it's not perfectly clean. And then I talked to someone and they're like, you know what, that actually, you're like seeing it the wrong way. That means that it's been made by hand and it's been made with the artisan stone mill method. And you need to see those little imperfections as a really good thing. And that when you're eating, you know, polenta that's perfectly clean, you kind of question and think, oh, that must be industrially milled or with a roller mill or, you know, not made by a small miller that you can know.
We're cooking this polenta at a 3-to-1 ratio. That's 3 cups of water to 1 cup of polenta. What that's gonna give us is the perfect consistency so that it's still soft on the inside, but we're gonna get enough firmness that the pizza crust holds up when we slice it. And do be sure to cook this for the prescribed amount of time, at least 30 minutes. This is not a recipe to do if you are in a rush, because you want that polenta to become nice and soft. We don't want it to be gritty.
Yeah, when we started, it was definitely a hobby for my dad. He loved baking bread. And then we moved into Chris Bianco's restaurant, who was an awesome chef here that most people in Phoenix know about or should know about. And he gave us space in his restaurant. And we thought we'd just mill for him. Like, that'd be plenty to do. And then other chefs found out what we were doing and started asking for flour, and Whole Foods came and asked, you know, if we could do product for them, and we just kind of followed those leads, and then all of a sudden sort of like, oh, this is a business, you know, so it's like a hobby, passion that turned into a business, and we still feel like we're growing up, like oh, next year will be a real business.
Of course, what is a pizza without toppings? And in this case, I wanted to go with the classic combo of peppers and onions. But instead of your classic bell pepper, I'm using shishito peppers. Now, shishitos are a lot of fun. They're kind of like pepper roulette because 1 in 10 are actually spicy. So fair warning, you might get a little spicy every so often from these. And now, because these are perishable, they don't come in the kitchen kit that we are selling online. But if you can find them locally, definitely go for it. Otherwise, you can use any kind of standard pepper. That'll work just fine here too. So I throw the peppers into a screaming hot cast iron pan with just a little bit of grapeseed oil. And I use the grapeseed just because it's really great at handling those higher temperatures. Then as those peppers start to blister, which they will, you'll start to see the skins cracking, getting a nice little char on them. That is perfect. Then I take some of AZ Bitters Lab Mas Mole bitters and shake a couple drops of that in. This is like that secret weapon of flavor. And a lot of people think that bitters are only for using in cocktails, but personally, I love adding them to food. It's just those nuanced flavors, that warmth, that added level of complexity that makes a dish so much more interesting. Then once all of those peppers are blistered, transfer those to another bowl, and it's time to get onto the caramelized onions. Now, if you have never had success with caramelized onions, don't worry, you're not alone. It took me a long time to really understand the method behind getting properly caramelized onions. Really, at the end of the day, it's about being patient and just getting a nice hot pan over medium-high and moving those little guys around frequently so that they don't sit too long, but you're getting those sugars rendering and caramelizing. That's what's gonna give you those best, beautiful caramelized onions, but they take time. And then just sprinkle a little bit more of those bitters into those caramelized onions to hammer home those warm Southwest flavors. Now, of course, we know that it is important to season throughout the cooking process, adding salt to each of the individual components so that we end up with a beautifully seasoned dish in the end. And the special salt that I'm using today that's also in the kitchen kit is the Sel Gris from Go Pound Salt. It's a beautiful, high quality sea salt, no artificial ingredients, and it doesn't end up with that metallic taste that certain salts do. It's just a beautiful, nuanced, clean salt flavor. Now, while the shishitos are cooling, I go ahead and remove the stems. You can do it before the cooking process, but I just find it's easier just to pop them off after they're already cooled. Now, at this point, your polenta should be really nice and creamy and thick. Not too thick though, like you should still be able to stir it up. And then it's time to build the pizza in our cast iron skillet. So just add a little bit more oil to that cast iron skillet, and then we're gonna take that beautiful creamy polenta and pour it right in, smoothing it around to the edges so that it makes a pizza crust. And then we take those blistered shishito peppers and the caramelized onions, sprinkle those over the top, and then pop the whole thing in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. What you're looking for is on the edges are getting really nice and crispy and just slightly golden brown. And then comes the exciting part when it comes out of the oven and you're ready to serve it. We've got a couple more key toppings just to really round it out. So in the recipe development process, I was thinking we've got this beautiful, hot, comforting pizza. What better way to contrast that with then a nice, sharp and creamy and cool goat cheese? And then for the sauce, because I needed something sweet, I combined sweet chili sauce with just a little bit of tomato paste to give that little shout out to the Italians and drizzle that over the top. You guys, this is unreal. You are gonna love it. And then finally, after all that work, it's time to dig in. And I know this recipe is a bit more labor intensive than what I typically share on this channel, but for me, on the weekends, when I've got quality ingredients like this and I've got some extra time, that is the best way for me to spend time with my family. We get in the kitchen, we enjoy each other's company, and enjoy the best that food has to offer. So as I mentioned to you before, you can actually pick up the kitchen kit, which contains the polenta, the bitters, and the salt, and I've got all the information linked down below, or you can head to jonisimon.com. Got all the information on how to buy the kit from Bite Magazine. And the great part is that the quantities that these come in not only make just one pizza, it'll make multiple pizzas, or you can take those ingredients and get experimental in your own kitchen. So thank you so much for stopping by the kitchen here today. I hope you learned something. I hope you got some great ideas to inspire things in your own kitchen. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. I will be back next week with another delicious dish. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it the thumbs up, because thumbs up will share it with other people and spread the love of food to everyone. So thank you so much. You have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye.